Well, firstly, good afternoon. First and foremost, let's hope it's nothing like it was last season. That's the first objective. You said it's the first match of the tournament, and certainly for us, hopefully not the last match. But we know the challenge that's ahead of us. We're playing the most informed team in the country, and I think I said after we played them, I said what I said. And it is certainly one of the best teams, one of the best coach teams, with some of the best players that are available, and we know the task at hand. But it's a cup game, there's no points at stake. We go for it. If we're going to sit back, it's not a matter of if, I mean when we're going to get punished. So we've got to take the game to them. They've got a formidable home record. We understand all of the stats, we understand that. But we have to go and fight. So we're looking forward to it, and I'll tell you how I feel after the 90.
All right, thank you, Coach. Let's take questions from the floor, and we'll start with Tsepo.
Thanks, Fatu. Thanks, Coach. Tsepo from ENC. Looking at where you guys are in the league, it's been a remarkable season. And I think you are 4 points shy away from the target. I think you said 34, 35. Now comes the cup game. How do you approach it, especially coming from a loss? Is it some sort of like, for lack of a better word, disturbance from your league target? Thanks.
Thanks, my man. Yeah, it's not a disturbance. I think, it comes at the right time, because the last 3 games, let's be honest, haven't been really good for us. We've collected 2 out of 9 points, not exactly, where we wanted to be. But saying that, the draws against SuperSport and Amazulu were very tough. And if we had buried our chances in the first half against Swallows, it would have been a completely different game. So maybe it comes at the right time, to take the pressure away from us and this constant, I said to the boys after the game, I think being there around where we are is weighing heavily on them. So let us now, approach a cup game. There's no weight on our shoulders. Nobody's giving us any chance. Let's call it as it is. And maybe that's our best chance. So of course we're going to go for it, and let's see how it goes.
Thank you, Coach. Moving right along, I've got a question here. Benjamin.
Coach Benjamin here. You have just said, Coach, Sundowns is the informed team right now. As a team, having played them in the league before and losing to them, what do you think is the best way to stop them?
The best way to stop them is to try to go at them, which gives you other challenges, leaves you a little bit exposed. But we saw a game recently, the last couple of weeks when we played them. It was a game of really 2 halves. We were lucky not to be 3 down at half time, and we changed things in the second half, and we came for them. Yes, we may have still conceded in the second half. We could have scored a number of chances. We created some really good chances. And on another day, Tanzeka had been in a better mood, who knows. So we've learned from that game. You're spot on, and the lesson is we respect them, but we're not afraid of them. We can't be. At the end of the day, all said and done, it is 11v11, and if our right 11 turns up on the day, then we've got a chance.
All right, moving right along, I'm looking for more hands. Bendulo, I've noted you, Temba.
Coach, Bendulo Story from Daily Sun. Coach, coming from that one loss against Sundowns, your colleague Bisola said one of the reasons why you haven't been doing well in the past 3 games is a lot of traveling that's in between, having to travel to away games and stuff. But considering that you didn't go back to Durban, Richards Bay, you spent the weekend here in Joburg, does that give you an advantage in preparation and make sure that the boys are fully fit and not suffer any cramps on the game? Thank you.
Yeah, well, firstly, a lot of teams have to travel the way we travel. So I think we were second best in the second half on the night against Swallows, and that's why we didn't take our chances in the first half. But certainly we have stayed behind, and we appreciate what the chairman's done for us, the management. We know it's not cheap to stay behind for a good couple of days, but it's given us the opportunity to recover properly, to use the facilities at Tuks, get some good training sessions under the belt, ice baths, pools, gyms, all the rest of it. So let's hope that we're ready, but we're also not naive. We know Sundowns can put out a completely different team, and if you look at the teams they put out against Galaxy and Sekokune, even those teams, even those players comfortably won those games. So we know we're in for a fight, but certainly staying behind I think has helped us quite a bit.
Alright, let's move right along to Lawrence. I've noted you now.
Coach, Mila Chipas coached something about one of your comments about the PlayStation football. He said that he suggested it's like a defeatist attitude projected on your players. Do you agree that being so complimentary about the team you're going to be faced affects the psyche of your players?
Listen, he's entitled to his opinion. It's the glass is half full or half empty. I'm a realist, and that's why I made the comment we did. And it was the meaning of the comment, and in the context was we couldn't get the ball, and that's what I said. And that's why I said in moments in the first half, it felt like we were watching PlayStation. That's what I said. And in the second half, there were no PlayStation or Xbox comments. So I don't think it's a defeatist, attitude. It's being real, and the boys need to understand, and they certainly do understand, because obviously there's been post-match analysis. We've watched that game at length. We came, horribly short in the first half. But that said, we were dynamic in the second half. So. Is entitled to his opinion.
Okay, now.
Sure, Coach. Now from Masandawana fan blog. Coach, at the beginning of the season, you acquired the services of Harold Majabulu from Sundowns, and a very versatile player who plays right back, centre back, and midfield. Do you think he's played? I think only 126 minutes in the 19 games so far. Do you think his versatility comes to his disadvantage, because Ntsiki gets injured, he warms up, Mapate gets injured, he warms up? Do you think his versatility is the reason why he doesn't get to play like a lot of minutes?
That's a good question, and he's a fantastic footballer with a kid with a really, really good attitude. And when you look at the way he trains, there's a part of you that says, difficult not to play this kid. But I think if you look at the context from the beginning, he came late, he had no pre-season. Him, along with a couple of others, were way behind the rest. And once we started the season, we started to gain eventually some momentum after the first Chiefs and then back-to-back losses, Chiefs and SuperSport. And then, we started to keep these clean sheets, and we started to get some stability in the back four. But when we needed him against Chipper, we played him at right back. He was dynamic. He kept on going until I think around the 75th minute when he couldn't anymore, cramping. But it's also, an advantage for us. I think you'll see the team sheet tomorrow, and when you see the team sheets, you'll realize that we won't fill the 20 names on there. We are very, very short tomorrow, and then that's when the opportunity, for Harold comes in, and as you say, is very versatile, equally comfortable at right back, centre back, or as a number 6. So, I know it's tough for him, but when his chance comes, I think he'll grab it with both hands.
All right, September. I've noted you, Prosfiso. Can you just get a microphone here?
Oh, there's one. I've got two.
You've got two now. Just use one, please.
My wives will be happy with this. Coach, congratulations to you guys for getting the team this far. I mean, so much acknowledgement coming from all those who understand football. But let me just quickly look at the business side of football, where Msunduzi municipality has carried the team with the chairman, and they've done a great work. This competition is unlike the MTN 8, where whether you win, you lose at the first match, first title, or in the final, you still get the same 800,000. Here, even for runners-up, there's a significant amount of money that you guys need. Is some of the things that you're looking at, the financial boost, the business side of the competition, away from the playing side of it? What does it mean for you guys? What will it mean for you to progress even further past Sundowns, even making it to the final, whether you win it or lose it, it's a story for another day. Just take us through the business acumen that you guys live by.
Yeah, I think for a team like us, in the situation we're in, definitely the financial, boost will be welcomed. It's much needed. It's no secret. We don't have a home stadium. We until the issues came along, we now no longer train on the fields that were supplied to us before. So there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. One of the schools have generously, accommodated us and are happy to have us around in Richards Bay. So I think the financial boost, is a big opportunity for us. But we also have to be realistic with the size of the squad we have, with the players that we have. Of course, we want to go and do our best, but at the same token, the higher you end in the league, also, the more prize money is available. So we definitely, understand those aspects, but from the chairman's side, no pressure on us, which is good, and it's another factor why we are where we are in the league, because there weren't any real unrealistic expectations of where we should end up. But that boost would be great. And not only that, I think if we can manage to go through a couple of rounds, more football for the fans that every single time have to get in and travel, taxis, buses, all the way to Umlazi, to Kingswell. So we want to try and reward them. But yeah, if we can win it, I think a nice little boost for everybody.
Thank you, Coach. Vasili Ramara.
Yeah, Coach, I'm here. I'm jolly now. Without any doubt, Coach, this season you've punched, beyond your weight. You've done extremely well since the beginning of the season. We are already in the second half of the league. What do you still want to achieve, as a team to make this an ideal season for you? What else do you still want to achieve after what you've done so far? Thank you.
The biggest thing we want to achieve is consistency. We always know we always knew, and we know that the second round is very, very tough. Teams go and reinforce. The experience of the PSL players in all those other teams start to kick in. You know how they need to change gears, and you can see it already. Maritzburg, Swallows, so we always know it's going to be tough. But if we can keep the same consistency or fairly close to what we did in the first round, then I think we're going to be okay in the end. And one of those driving factors, you look at some of the media houses, the polls that they had in the beginning of the season, we were overwhelming favourites to get relegated from the onset. And we kind of used that as some motivation to kick us on and say, listen, let's make sure that it's not going to be us. And whatever we did kind of worked for us in the first round, so we're looking for more of the same in the second round. We realize it's going to be tougher, but we can only control what we can control, and hopefully that leaves us in a good position at the end of the season.
Thank you, Coach Yulule.
Coach Yulule Koshe, he's from Africa. Coach, we've spoken at length about how formidable the team Sundowns are. But realistically speaking, from your perspective, which areas of the pitch do you feel as if your team have even the slightest bit of a chance of causing a bit of threat to Sundowns, and how do you think you can go about causing a particular upset against them?
I think they're a little bit vulnerable on the counter-attack. I mean, I'm stating the obvious, but it's because they commit so many numbers forward. For those, I'm sure you guys know clearly, they play a 4-1, 3-2. So they play with the 2 strikers and 3 tucked in behind them. That's already 5 offensively. They leave the defensive midfielder on their own, and then when they push on the 2 fullbacks, they attack you with 7. If you defend with 5, they attack you with 6. It's very well structured. So they play with a lot of risk because they believe in themselves, and if you find the right moments, they will also be unbalanced, and you can expose them. Once we started in the first game, in the first half, trying to knock balls long in the channels, didn't work for us. Once we started to play our way and build up, and yes, they press you aggressively, but once you bypass that first press, you'd be surprised, at some of the space that is available. And I know that might sound hard to believe, because if you look at their goals conceded column, it tells you another story. But that just tells you how difficult it is to break these guys down. So we're playing away from home. We can't play like them. We have to play the way we play. And we're going to try and exploit those few weaknesses that they have.
Vasili, Coach, there is a strong chance that you may qualify for the Champions League, for Africa Champions League or Combat Cup. Though it may be something that is good for a young club, young in inverted commas, it may also leave you with a serious predicament, because I guess that's where the depth of your squad will be tested. How would you treat continental football if you qualify next season?
That's a good question. It's very, very difficult. The honest part of me says we're not ready for that. And so what does it mean? We'll take our foot off the pedal? No, certainly not. But I think realistically we're not geared up for that. And I'm sure you guys remember I was part of a technical team that qualified for the Champions League by finishing second, and along with those qualifications of playing in certain cup competitions, you overachieve, and sometimes you get punished for your overachievements. So we need to be realistic, and I think as we get closer to the season, if we are in with some kind of chance, then certainly there's going to have to be some kind of discussion at management and board level to say what next. It takes careful planning. You look at Marumo now, where they are and how they still need to go and compete in that competition. It's not for the faint-hearted. Champions League was an amazing experience. I'm talking about, when we were at Amazulu playing some of the best, Setif, Raja, and it looks glamorous, and it was an amazing experience, as I said, but it's tough on you, and that's why I've said many times before, you've got to take your hat off to these guys, who compete year in and year out at Champions League level. It's not for the faint-hearted, and even if you have a look, the team that finished second last season didn't manage to qualify for the Champions League or for Confed. So it's not as easy as it seems, and I think we need to tread cautiously as we get closer to that stage of the league.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go to Tsepo and then Mazo.
Thanks. Coach, I know football is a collective team sport, but let's talk about goalkeeper Makula. How important has he been for the team so far?
Yeah, I don't want to single out, as you said, he's got to be the find of the season. I'd never heard of him before. After investigations, when he arrived, obviously playing in the first division, but he has been unbelievable. He's really, but along with a good goalkeeper comes a good number 2 and a number 3. I don't like to call them 2s and 3s because I don't know which one is which. And there's a solid goalkeeping department. You look at what Malcolm Jacobs did last season, Neil Boshoff, when Veli Motoa was injured for a couple of games, deputized at Amazulu, and he was outstanding. So we're blessed in that department. They push each other. And I think they're very close off the pitch as well, which helps. You also got to take it then one step further. You look at the defensive structure, and we always say the first defender is the attacker on top. So that's where it starts. But he's been phenomenal, along with a couple of other finds that I said to myself, where have these guys been playing? Sanele Barnes, how this guy wasn't playing in the PSL is unbelievable. Tsepo Mabua, the left back, playing centre back. I could go on Mapate, the right back. He's our little Cancelo, if you want to call him that. And we could just go on. Sianda Msani, my word, and. So, but Mabula has been, fantastic.
I spent a lot of time with Coach Penny.
No. Why do we need to know that?
You're pushing.
Hey.
You mustn't push.
I can see the memes coming out now.
Let's go to Mazola, who's will wrap up.
Okay. Coach, are you likely to rotate? I mean, Sundowns probably will. They've got a group Champions League group stage opener at the weekend. Would that be a factor from your side, or you don't have the luxury to rotate at all?
We certainly don't have the luxury they have, but it's something that we discussed at length, the last couple of days, and we will. And the reason we will is because of what I said earlier when you talk about Harold, or there's a handful of players that just haven't got the opportunity yet and absolutely deserve it. So there's no better time to throw them in, and they also want to prove a point, so they'll be playing out of their skin, and we will definitely do that tomorrow. Yeah.